Frio, heard red dirt music on your radio. Eden Cooper's down in Llano. You ain't met my Texas yet.
God bless Texas! Tonight is a victory for the people of Texas. Tonight is a victory for all the men and women in this room and all the men and women across this state that poured your hearts, your passion, your time, your energy to rising to defend Texas. To every one of you, Heidi and I and the girls, we say thank you. Thank you. Texas saw something this year that we've never seen before. This election wasn't about me, and it wasn't about Beto O'Rourke. This election was a battle of ideas. It was a contest for who we are and what we believe. It was a contest, and the people of Texas decided this race. We traveled every part of the state, from East Texas to West Texas, from the Panhandle to the Valley. And the energy, the excitement we saw was incredible. Just a couple of weeks ago down in the Valley, in Harlingen, 2,000 people coming out. In Mission, 2,000 people coming out. In El Paso, 2,000 people coming out. And what was truly amazing, at many of these events, we would ask, how many of you here are former Democrats? And we would see hands throughout the room, as we're seeing hands now, because Texas came together behind a common sense agenda of low taxes, low regulations, and lots of jobs. Securing the border and keeping our communities safe, and defending the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. And that is a common sense agenda that unites Texans from every part of the state. It was your hard work. This is a victory for the single mom who's been waiting tables, who suddenly sees her wages going up because the economy is booming. This is a victory for the oil field worker who sees now that the United States is the world's top producer of oil. This is a victory for all the kids who are seeing their parents. In the last 2 years, 4 million people have come off of food stamps. Stop and reflect for a moment the lives transformed. People who had been dependent on government for basic food needs now have jobs and get to come home carrying a bag of groceries. Get to come home and look at their kids and say, I'm providing for my family, and their kids get to look up at mom, look up at dad, and see the hope. This was an election about hope and about the future, and the people of Texas rendered a verdict that we want a future with more jobs and more security and more freedom. I want to take a moment also to thank my wife, Heidi, who is my best friend in the world and who, in the course of this campaign, shouldered responsibilities at work, at home, juggling 1,000 balls backwards on a unicycle. And I want to thank our girls. I want to thank Caroline and Catherine. It is hard having dad on the road all the time, having mom on the road all the time. It is hard, and these girls pay a price. And girls, Mommy and I love you with all of our hearts. And I could not possibly be prouder of the two of you. I also want to thank my mom and my dad, both of whom poured their hearts into this. And I want to also take a moment to congratulate Beto O'Rourke. He poured his heart into this campaign. He worked tirelessly. Listen, it's important. He worked tirelessly. He's a dad, and he took times away from his kids. And I want to also say, millions across this state were inspired by his campaign. They didn't prevail, and I am grateful the people of Texas chose a different path. But let me say to all of those who worked on his campaign, all of those who were inspired, that I am your senator as well. My responsibility is to represent every Texan. And I give you my word, I will always fight for your jobs, for your freedom, for your security. I will always fight to defend your constitutional rights. That applies to everyone in the great state of Texas. We saw an assault that was unprecedented. We saw a $100 million race with Hollywood coming in against the state, with the national media coming in against the state. But all the money in the world was no match for the good people of Texas and the hard-working men and women across our state. And I am so incredibly proud each and every day to stand up and to fight for you, to defend you. We are standing united. We have been delivering results. And now we need to go back to work and keep
Senator Ted
delivering
Cruz after
results.
securing his seat once again this evening. Back out here live with John McKay and Jason Whiteley. And it's interesting, we heard him also congratulate Beto O'Rourke because Cruz's support was strong tonight, but so was Beto's. And I wonder if you think that he felt he had to have something that was unifying in that speech tonight.
You know, we heard Governor Abbott give a unifying speech a little earlier tonight, too, trying to bring people together. And that's not necessarily like Cruz, the speech we just heard. Remember, in the two debates we had, Cruz struggled to give a compliment to Beto O'Rourke. Sure. Tonight was some of the kindest words he had for Beto O'Rourke and for some of Beto's supporters as well. He's talking about millions inspired by him. O'Rourke worked tirelessly, talked about him being a father also. Very kind words, a unifying message. That's what a lot of people need to hear after this bruising race that we've all watched for 6 or 8 months.
He's got to feel pretty good because, as he said, he was outspent on all this. And certainly Beto O'Rourke raised a lot more money than he did. And yet tonight, Ted Cruz is the winner.
He is the winner, and you talked about it a moment ago, John, how earlier tonight, the first hour or so after polls closed, Beto O'Rourke comes surging ahead. You know that Ted Cruz has a few more gray hairs after that first few hours tonight,
Sure.
but he is the victor here tonight.
All right.